It was March 2022, spring break of my second year in college. 6 of us, me, Matt, Chris, Tyler, Jess, and Sarah, rented a cheap cabin way out in the woods of South Carolina. It was meant to be a break from everything. No phones, no school, no responsibilities, just loud music, bad decisions, and a few memories we'd laugh about later. The listing said the place was secluded, private land by a lake. It was dirt cheap for how big it was. 2 stories, 2 bathrooms, and a wraparound porch. The guy who owned it had a thick accent and said one strange thing before hanging up. Don't go wandering too far into them woods. Old stuff back there. Wells, snakes, busted fences. You don't want to get turned around. We all laughed. Figured he was trying to add some southern horror movie charm. But when we pulled up, nobody was laughing. It didn't look like the photos. The cabin was older, weather-worn, and the air smelled like wet garbage and mildew. The windows were filthy, some shutters dangled from rusted hinges, and the silence around us felt too heavy, too unnatural. Still, we went inside, unpacked, cracked open some beers, and by sunset we were drunk around the fire pit, yelling over a Bluetooth speaker and burning hot dogs. By 11 p.m., it got cold. We moved the party inside. That's when I noticed something that stuck with me. The woods? They weren't just dark, they were empty. No bugs, no rustling, no wind, just a black wall of trees like they were pressing in from all sides. We crashed around 2 a.m., scattered across couches and bedrooms. I had the downstairs room, small, just a bed, and one window facing those woods. Around 4:15 a.m., I shot awake. No noise, no dream, nothing, just wide awake, like someone had whispered my name. And then I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. Not mechanical. Not random. It sounded like fingers. I rolled onto my side and froze. A man was standing outside my window. He was pressed right up against the glass. Pale skin, bare chest, wild greasy hair. His face was nearly touching the window pane. His mouth hung open slightly, like he was breathing through it. Eyes wide, unblinking, staring straight at me, and he was tapping. Soft, slow, deliberate. I couldn't move. My body had locked up, but then the tapping sped up. I whispered, "Matt," again, louder. "Matt." He groaned from the couch outside my room, asked what I wanted. I didn't answer, just pointed. He looked over, saw the man, and immediately shouted, knocking over the coffee table. By the time he got the porch light on and ran outside, the man was gone. We all got up. Jess and Sarah were terrified. Tyler joked that it was a drunk local. Chris muttered something about hunters, but I knew. That man wasn't drunk. He wasn't lost. He was watching. We moved the couch in front of the main window, locked every door, and took turns staying awake that night. Morning came. I went outside. What I saw made my stomach flip. Bare human footprints circled the entire cabin. They stopped at every single window, even the tiny one above the upstairs shower. We should have left, but we didn't. Night 2 started the same. Fire pit, drinks, music. But the mood was different. Jess didn't drink. Chris had a knife clipped to his belt. We all kept glancing toward the woods. We triple-checked the locks, covered every window. Around 3:30 a.m., Matt went to the kitchen for water. He stopped in the hallway and quietly called my name. I got up and saw him frozen, pointing toward the kitchen. The man was back, but this time, he was inside. He was naked. His back was to us, covered in long, raw-looking scratches. He stood there in front of the fridge, just staring at it, swaying slowly on his feet, like he didn't recognize what it was. Nobody spoke. We just gathered at the hallway entrance, trying to make sense of it. I had a pocket knife. Sarah grabbed the fireplace poker. Chris held a broken chair leg. Then someone flipped on the light. He was gone. The back door was wide open. No signs of forced entry. Just open. 20 minutes later we packed. Only the essentials. Wallets, phones, keys. We drove until we got signal and called the sheriff. We met a deputy at a diner just off the highway. And here's the thing. He didn't even look surprised. "You guys all right? No one hurt?" "Yeah, but there was a man. He watched us for 2 nights, came inside. We didn't let him in. Yeah, we've had issues. Folks squatting out there. Some ain't right in the head. We tried explaining. This wasn't just a squatter. This man had gotten inside, knew when we were asleep, watched us. The deputy just nodded, like he'd heard it all before. When we brought up the owner, he got real quiet, almost like he knew exactly who we were talking about. The listing disappeared a few days later, completely wiped from every rental site. We never got a call, never got our deposit back, and never got an explanation. But sometimes, I still see that face, pressed against the glass, mouth open, eyes wide, tapping. I don't even know where to begin with this, so I'll just say it straight. Someone has been standing outside my bedroom door. Not the front door, not the porch. I mean my bedroom door. And no, I'm not someone who sleeps with it open. I've had sleep paralysis for years, and during those episodes, I used to see a man just standing at the end of my hallway, watching, waiting. Since then, I physically can't sleep with my door open. And now, I'm starting to wonder if those sleep paralysis demons were ever just in my head. It all started 5 nights ago. At first, I thought it was my grandma messing with me. She's a prankster sometimes. But when I stormed into her room that first night, ready to yell, she was fast asleep, dead to the world. The second night, I did wake her up. I told her the jokes weren't funny anymore, that I needed sleep. Graduation's coming up and I'm barely holding it together. She got mad I even woke her. Swore she hadn't left her bed. I went back to my room confused as hell. Sat in total silence. Listened. Nothing. The third night was Tuesday. That's when it got worse. I didn't sleep at all. At first I heard shuffling in the hallway. Still thought it was my grandma. But then the footsteps passed my door, stopped, paused right in front of my dad's empty room, then slowly shuffled back and stopped right outside my door. My dog lifted his head. He heard it too. So I waited for my grandma to open the door, but she never did. Instead, we both just listened, and then came the noise, a sound I'll never forget. Imagine someone sucking on the roof of their mouth, followed by a sharp clicking sound, like they were calling something, calling it closer. That went on for hours. My dog, my brave, fearless boy, hid behind my legs, trembling. The noises only stopped when I heard birds start chirping. Just after 4 a.m., the fourth night wasn't as dramatic, just more shuffling, on and off from around 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., but it never came close, until last night. Last night, I thought it was over. No sounds, no movement. I actually started to think maybe it was just my imagination, just stress, but that's when it happened. My door doesn't have a latch. It never fully seals, so it rattles a bit if you mess with it. The noise started again, but it wasn't slow this time. It was rushed. Fast footsteps from the end of the hall. Then, bam! Something slammed into the crack of my door, hard. And then, it started breathing. Not normal breathing. Long, deep, continuous. Like someone, or something, was sighing slowly over and over. That's when I realized my grandma wasn't home. She was out of town for the night, which meant someone else was in the house. I had 2 choices: stay there and wait for it to come in, or get up and lock the door. I chose the second one. I shot up from bed, slammed the door shut, and twisted the lock. The breathing stopped. For a second. Then it started again, louder. And then it began yanking the door, forward and back, violently, over and over. The wood cracked, the frame splintered. I was frozen in place. Finally, I grabbed my phone and called my grandma. I was in a panic. At first, she thought I was joking, but then she heard it through the phone, the breathing, the yanking. She went dead silent and said, "I'm calling the police. Get out of the house." I told her I wasn't waiting. grabbed my dog, opened my window, and jumped. I'm lucky. There's a pine tree right outside my window. I'm 5 feet 2 inches, small enough to slip out quickly. I crouched down beside that tree, clutching my dog, and waited. 10 minutes passed. Then I heard sirens. My grandma got there just after the police. We walked up to one of the officers as they came out of the house. They said they searched every room, every closet, every crawl space. Nothing, no one. But my bedroom door, splintered. The lock, nearly snapped. Clearly someone had tried to get in, but the house was fully locked. Every door, every window, deadbolted from the inside. I didn't sleep there that night, neither did my grandma. Even the officers recommended we stay at a hotel, and we did, but I still don't have answers, only that something, or someone, was at my door, and it wasn't part of any dream. When I was a teenager, my parents and I left California for a secluded part of North Idaho. My folks had just retired and built their dream home, massive, 2 stories, a gym, a bar, even a legit movie theater setup in the basement. It was everything you'd imagine in a dream home. If your dream involved being surrounded by miles of pitch-black woods, backed by untouched national parkland, we had no neighbors, just endless forest. Quiet, still, unnerving. One night, my parents went out for dinner in town. I invited my high school girlfriend over. We cracked open a couple beers, yeah, underage, but whatever, and headed down to the theater to watch Gladiator. About halfway through the movie, I felt it. That gut-level terror. No reason, no sound. Just this instinctive, overwhelming sense that we were not alone. My eyes kept drifting to the big uncovered windows behind us that faced the woods. Black. Empty. But it felt like something was staring back. I didn't say anything to her. Didn't want to seem paranoid. We finished the movie, things got a little heated, and I walked her upstairs to her car. She drove off, headlights swallowed by the trees. I was alone again, but I remembered I'd left the lights on downstairs, so I headed back into the basement. First stop, the movie room. I hit the switch and paused. The window facing the backyard caught my eye, and that's when I saw him. A man. Filthy clothes. Hair like a bird's nest. But it was his face, his smile, that locked me in place. Huge. Unblinking. Stretching far too wide, like he enjoyed watching me freeze. And in his hand, a knife. He was gently tapping it against the glass. Tap. Tap, tap. I backed out slowly and made my way to the bar room. That room had a sliding glass door, another view into the woods. As I hit the light, he appeared again, calmly walking into view, still smiling, still staring. He was following me from outside the house. We were maybe 1 foot apart, just the glass between us. He didn't move, didn't speak, didn't blink, just stared. I ran upstairs. My parents had just walked in. I looked at them and said, "I think I need a psych eval. I swear I just saw someone with a knife watching me from the woods." My mom went pale. My dad didn't say a word. He went straight to the gun safe, grabbed a rifle, and stormed out into the cold. I asked my mom what was going on. "There have been break-ins," she said. "Someone creeping around houses at night. The man you described, that's him." The police came. They searched the property, found no footprints, no signs of forced entry. But that night, as I laid in bed upstairs, I heard it again. Tap, 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 right beneath me. My room was directly above the movie theater. It sounded like metal tapping glass. I stared at the ceiling, heart pounding, paralyzed. The tapping continued for hours. It didn't stop. Every night for weeks, around 3 a.m., the tapping returned, sometimes faint, sometimes loud enough to wake me. Once I thought I heard footsteps on the roof. I'd check the windows, see nothing, but the feeling, that awful electric certainty, told me I was being watched. Then winter came. My parents had to leave town for a few days. Before they left, They handed me a shotgun. Just in case, they said. I also had our Rottweiler with me, sweetest dog you'd ever meet, silent unless something was truly wrong. That night I heard it. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Footsteps in the snow outside. Slow, heavy, deliberate. My dog stood, ears locked, growling low. Then he exploded into barking, ferocious, uncontrollable. He only ever did that when he saw something. I stayed silent, didn't move. I didn't want whoever was out there to know I was home. Then, knock. A slow, hollow knock on the front door, like someone was daring me to open it. I didn't. I slept that night with the shotgun across my chest, dog curled beside me, all the lights off. In the morning, I stepped outside, and my stomach dropped. Footprints, fresh human prints, circling the entire house, stopping at every single window. Whoever it was, he was looking inside, searching for me. I followed them into the forest. Half a mile in, the tracks began to zigzag, loop back, like whoever made them was trying to throw me off. I turned around. Something deep inside told me, don't follow. That night, I heard it again. Tap, tap, tap. But this time, it was louder. This time, I didn't wait. I unlocked my bedroom door, loaded the shotgun, and stepped out onto the second-story deck. I hit the floodlights, and there he was. Same man, same dead smile, same eyes like polished glass. He was holding the knife again, staring straight at me. I shouted, "If you don't leave, I'll put one right through you." He didn't move, didn't blink, just smiled wider. I fired a warning shot. He flinched, then backed into the woods, still facing me, still smiling. That's when I unleashed the dog. I sprinted downstairs, threw open the sliding door, and let him go. He tore into the forest, barking like I'd never heard before. He had a shock collar. He wouldn't go too far, but I like to think he chased that thing off for good, because after that night, I never saw the man again. But sometimes, deep in the winter silence, I still think I hear it. Tap, tap, tap.